Imagine a world where your latest project is finally airborne. Your users aren't just browsing, they're soaring in bulletproof containers you've built from the ground up. Seamless traffic, total control, and a rock-solid infrastructure navigating the open internet. Stop dreaming and start deploying. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something pretty cool, running a complex container-based application on your own computer. When you are building your own application, it can be tricky and potentially expensive to use a paid service like Vercel. This video is going to cover a review, and I want to talk about my real-life experience getting a project running on my own hardware. If you plan on scaling your project and getting real users, at some point you're going to have to move it off your dev machine. But going to services like Netlify before you are ready can be spendy. Or maybe you want to keep everything in-house and avoid paying a platform provider altogether. That is where this really cool project called Dokploy comes into the mix. Dokploy is a free, open source, self-hosted platform as a service, also called a PaaS. When I say platform as a service, think of it as the easy button for hosting. Instead of manually setting up a server, installing Linux updates, configuring firewalls, a platform as a service handles the infrastructure. You just give it your code and it gives you a URL. Dokploy is a self-hosted platform as a service, meaning you get that easy button on a server you actually own for free. So let's get down and dirty. We're going to be covering the setup, comparing it to the big dogs like Coolify and Proxmox, and I'm going to show you how I wrestled with its Traefik dark magic to host multiple web projects from a simple blog to a complex multi-port software as a service application. Let's jump in. Heads up, the next part of this video is going to use my Python tool called TTS Blender. I really hate the sound of my voice and I really want to show off how slick this free tool is. Alright, back to the video.
Before we go any deeper, let's make sure we're speaking the same language. If you're new to the server world, these 4 terms are going to come up constantly in this video. Number 1, Docker and containers. Imagine a shipping container instead of worrying if your software will work on your computer versus my computer. We put everything the app needs inside a container so it runs exactly the same everywhere. Number 2, VPS, or Virtual Private Server. This is just a computer you rent in the cloud. It is the physical house where your apps and your containers actually live. Number 3, Nixpacks. This is the magic behind how Dokploy knows what to do with your code. Usually, to put an app in a container, you have to write a complex file called a Docker file. Nixpacks looks at your folder, sees you're using Node.js or Python, and automatically builds that container for you. You can see how simple the instructions are in this nixpack.json file. No manual configuration required. Number 4, reverse proxy. This is the technical name for traffic cop. When someone types your domain name into a browser, the reverse proxy is the guard at the front gate that decides which of your apps they should be sent to. In Dokploy, a tool called Traefik handles this. It also manages your SSL certificates, that little green padlock, so your site is secure automatically. Alright, vocab lesson over. Now that we're all on the same page, let's get into why Dokploy might actually be better for your specific project. First, a bit of backstory. Dokploy is an open source project built on TypeScript. It sits on top of Docker and gives you a beautiful web dashboard to manage your apps, without the complexity of managing everything from scratch. While big players like Vercel manage the infrastructure for you and charge you for the privilege, Dokploy gives you the construction foreman tools to do it yourself on your own VPS. It's grown rapidly because it's fast, modern, and designed to stay out of your way. At its core, Dokploy simplifies deploying and managing applications and databases. Within the dashboard, you have projects. Instead of a messy list of containers, you create logical projects to keep things organized and isolated. Then you have sources. You can pull from GitHub, GitLab, or even just drag and drop a .zip file for build options. It uses Nixpacks or Dockerfiles to automatically figure out how to build your code. One of my favorite features is how it handles the infrastructure. Traefik is set up right from the jump. No manual config needed. As soon as you deploy an app and point a domain at it, Traefik handles the routing and SSL certificates automatically. This is where I spent most of my time tweaking things. Dokploy uses Traefik as its built-in reverse proxy, acting as the air traffic controller for your server. For my Statamic blog, it was easy mode. This is a standard one-to-one mapping. One domain, human.com, goes to one port, port 80. Dokploy handles the SSL and routing automatically. It's a standard app setup where you just type the domain in the box, and it works. But then I tried hosting TrendForge, which needed two services inside the same container. First, the web server on port 80. Second, the WebSocket server, called Reverb, on port 8080. Because I wanted one domain to handle both, I had to use the dark magic. I had to manually tell Traefik, if the URL has /reverb in it, go to port 8080. If it doesn't, stay on port 80. This required writing custom YAML code to act as a traffic cop. It's a learning curve, but once you get it working, it's rock solid. To handle these dark magic setups, we need to leave the standard UI and head into the Traefik file system. This is one of Dokploy's best features. It gives you a direct window into your server's routing logic. Everything inside the folder is being watched by Traefik in real time. When you add a domain in the standard Dokploy UI, it actually writes a file here for you, but for TrendForge, we're going to write our own to handle that multi-port routing. I'm creating a new YAML file called trendforge.yml. We start by defining our routers. Think of these as the rules. The first rule says, if the traffic is coming to trendforge.human.com, send it to our web service, but here is the trick. I'm adding a second router with a path prefix. This tells Traefik, if the URL specifically includes /reverb, stop, don't send that to the web server. Send it to port 8080 instead. Under services, we tell Traefik where those ports actually live. We map our web router to port 80 and our reverb router to port 8080. This allows one single domain to act like two different servers simultaneously. The best part, as soon as I hit save, Traefik hot reloads, there is no downtime, and I don't have to restart the container. The Traefik cop just got his new orders, and the WebSocket connection starts working instantly. So how does it stack up against the competition, compared to Coolify? Both turn a VPS into a hero-like experience. Coolify is the luxury resort. It's feature-packed but can be resource-heavy. Dokploy is the professional workshop. It's leaner, faster, and offers native Docker Compose support that feels a bit more direct. As you can see in this Docker Compose standard.yml file, here's where it gets next level, Traefik plus Tailscale. By pairing Dokploy with Tailscale, using a setup like this Tailscale compose.yml, you can run your entire dashboard behind a private VPN. This means you don't have to open port 3000 to the public internet. Everything stays secure and invisible to scanners. But you can still access your control center from anywhere using Magic DNS. It's the ultimate setup for privacy-focused home labbers. To wrap it up, here are the pros. It is super lightweight and performant. It has an excellent Docker Compose and Traefik experience. And the project's feature keeps everything organized. For the cons, it is still newer than Coolify, so the template library is smaller. Also, advanced multi-port routing requires diving into YAML files. Is Dokploy the right tool for you if you value simplicity, low resource usage, and that seamless Traefik and Tailscale combo? The answer is yes. Go to Dokploy.com, run the install script on a fresh VPS, and play around. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Like, comment, and subscribe.